Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, we are going to learn about the routings and the dynamic URLs. And in very simple way, we'll understand how this routing works, how we can create dynamic URLs. Okay, so let's dive into the code. See, now as you can see clearly here, we have successfully created our first Flask application where we are just saying hello Flask. Okay, now guys, next thing is routes. You can see when I have created a route here, okay, then only this hello Flask was shown in my local host. Means when I was running my file, when I was running my server, so it was automatically showing hello Flask, okay, and you can see the code. I have just explicitly used route. So what does it means? It means that I've created a route here, okay, and I've created that route as // it means what? It means that it is going to show you that we are on the home page. Okay, so by default we are on the home page. So that is what I'm trying to say here is that a route is nothing but we create different URLs for different web pages. That is a route, and each route is connected to a function. Just like here, this home page route is connected to a function called as home. So whenever I'll go on this route, okay, whenever I go on this route, automatically this function will be triggered, okay, and this function is returning hello Flask. That's why we were able to see hello Flask on our browser. So this is the normal scenario what happens with route. Now let's talk about route in more detail and understand it, that what is route, when it is needed. So guys, you can understand route as a process of mapping a URL. What is a URL? URL full form is Uniform Resource Locator, which you also known as the web addresses. The web addresses which you see on your browser when you visit a particular website or a web page. So you can see in the address bar, you get something, HTTPS, and then you get the name, okay, google.com or some different kinds of .coms you'll see, CLCODING.com. So there are multiple things like that. So those are called as the URLs, Uniform Resource Locator. Those are the web addresses. Now, in a same website, there could be multiple, means a website is a collection of web pages. Now, in the same website, there could be multiple web pages, and for that multiple web pages, there could be different URLs also. So that is what each URL is connected to a separate function. So when you go on that URL, that function is triggered. So you get to say that kind of page or whatever you are returning in that function that you means that you get to see. So that is what it is said, that when a user visits a URL, Flask checks the function which is associated with that URL, okay, and then executes it. This is the simple concept of routes. So now we'll do what? We'll just simply see that how we can create different other routes also, okay. Now when we are on a website, so for the home page we have created the route. Now there are multiple pages also, okay. There could be a about section, there could be a contact section. So let's do what? Let me now just create a about section and a contact section, okay. So let's just do that. So I'll create a route for my about. So I'll just say /about. It means when the user will visit /about, he is going to see whatever I'm going to return in this function. So I'll create a function for that also. So I'll just simply say def about, okay, and I'll not going to do much. I will just simply return about, okay, and let me just copy the code and I'll make few changes. Now in this route, I'll make this contact, okay, and here I'm going to return contact. That's it, okay. Let's just do what? Now we have created two different routes, okay. One is the home page route, which is already there, then about, and then contact, and we are just returning about in the associated function about, which is associated with this route about. And then now I have to change this function name also, okay. Function name cannot be same, okay. So if you have created a route, okay, so the function name associated with that will be have a different name. Then if you are creating a different route, so the function name associated with that cannot be same, so the function name should be different, otherwise it will get an error. Now let's just try to execute this. So we have already, okay, so here I'll do what? I'll just write python app.py, okay. I'll copy my URL, Now in the latest, okay, it stopped. In the latest VS Code, you can just directly see it in your server, okay, in the VS Code itself. Otherwise, you can open it in your browser also. So we are going to open it in our browser. So I'll just copy this. Okay, now you can see we are here by default. Now I'll do what? I'll add /about. So now you'll see the about page, okay? Then I'll change this about to contact. So now you can see when I'm changing this URL from about to contact, okay, contact to about, the page is also getting changed. So this is how you can create different routes for different web pages. Now let's get back to our VS Code and let's understand a few more things about. Now I'll just do what? I'll just return a tag here, or HTML tag. As you know, browser understand the HTML language, so that's why we can use the HTML tags here. Okay, like in HTML there is the h1 tag which is used to give headings, okay, like this. Okay, now you know that I have told you that when we turn on the debug equals to true, what happens? That automatically when you'll make any changes to your code, that will already reflect, means it's not going to restart the server, or you don't need to restart the server, it's automatically take the update. Okay, so now let's just see and verify again that whether the changes has been made or not. Okay, so we'll go here, we'll just reload this page. Now you'll see now the h1 tag has applied. So now you can see contact in h1 tag. Let's verify the about. So about is also in with the h1 tag. Okay, the size is increased, it is in heading 1 section. Okay, so let's go back to the VS Code and see that how we can create now dynamic URLs. Okay, now this was that how you can create different routes for different web pages. Now what we try to learn is we'll try to understand the dynamic URLs, that what is dynamic routes or how we can create the dynamic URLs. Let's understand that concept. So guys, now we know that how to create the route. So what is a dynamic route? So dynamic route means that automatically the route should be created, means once you are giving or dynamically writing your URL, it will automatically get created based on that. So it is going to respond what values, what parameters you are going to pass in your URL. Okay, so for this I have a beautiful example. Let me just explain you. What if you have to create different routes for different users, but you don't know the users names. So suppose in first, say you have to create the route for A, then B, then C. So how you are going to dynamically code it? Because the name depends on the user. User can give any name. It's not necessary that user will get A, B and C only. User can give D, E and F also. Okay, so then how you will going to make it? So now let's do that. Okay, now you will see I've created I've created a route for different user. Okay, so I've created a route for a user, and in which what I am doing is just I've given a name, I have passed a parameter. Okay, so this is how you can pass a parameter. But before talking about the parameter, how we can pass a parameter, let's see what this function does. Okay, so again, let's just go back and re-execute it because there was a syntax error. That's why I reload this. Now I have to give the URL which I have given there. So what was there? User slash, and let's give Piyush. So it says hello Piyush. Okay, now if I change this Piyush to some different name, let's say Rohit, it will give me hello Rohit. So now you can see how efficiently you are able to create the dynamic URL. Means you can dynamically give a parameter to your URL. That parameter will automatically be passed to the function. So in this code, you can see this parameter which you are taking from the URL, the same parameter is being used in the function also. And then we are writing hello name. So that's why whatever value you are giving in the URL, that is being put in the function user. And that's why we are getting hello Piyush, hello Rahul, hello Rohit differently. So this is how you can create the dynamic routes, which is also known as giving parameters in the URLs. Now we'll talk about the URL parameters. Till now, we have learned that how we can create dynamic routes and how we can make changes in the URLs, how we can use parameters in URLs to get a customized page for different users. Now we'll understand a new topic in this, that is URL parameters. It simply means that how you're going to give parameters in your URLs. So as you have already seen, when I have to give this name, this parameter name, so I have used this angular braces, okay? And in between this angular braces, I'm writing my parameter name. So whatever comes after or in between this angular braces gets stored as a function parameter, okay? So just like in the URL. Okay, so now you can see just like in the URL how I make the changes. Okay, so what does it mean when I give Piyush here? It actually means that whatever the parameter, the value of the parameter I'm giving in the URL, that means it will go in my function. So it will be actually name equals to whatever I have given here, that is Piyush. So that's why it returns hello and this name, and the value of this name is Piyush. So that's why I'm getting hello Piyush. So this is what URL parameter means, and this is how URL parameter works. So now we have seen the URL parameters. Now we are going to learn about one more topic, that is URL converters. Okay, URL converters. Now, what is this topic, URL converters? It means that how you can restrict your parameters to a limited type, to a specific type, so that it should not give us a logical error. So to fix that, what we can do, I'll create one more route. Okay, and this time I will create a route for user's age. So let's say age. Okay, it should be enclosed within the double quotes, and I'll say age. Then I'll create a function for this called as age itself. I'll take a parameter age and I'll return age. Now let's just do what? Let's just go here. Let's just execute this once more time. Okay, I reload this. I'll give age and let me give 25. Okay, so it gives me age 25. Okay, that's cool. But I have to give my age. What if I give a name here? Will it automatically identify that I'm giving a name, or will it give age Piyush? So it gave us age Piyush. Now that is what that we don't want. Okay, this is what we cannot afford. Now this is a logical error, that in age we should always give a number. We cannot give a name in age. That is not appropriate. That is not um, that will be considered as an error. But although we are not getting any error because Python supports dynamic variables because of that, so now we have to do something for this. So then the topic URL converters comes to play, where we can convert the parameter type. Okay, so we can say that if it age is a number, so we can limit it to an integer type. Okay, so now when I'll go here and I'll execute this, so it will give me an error that not found. The requested URL was not found on the server. Okay, so it is not supporting actually. But if I'll remove Piyush and I'll give again 30, so it will work. If I'll give 25, so it will work. So when I'm giving an integer value now, so it will work. But if I'll give a string value, so it will not work. It will directly say 404, the requested URL is not found. Why it is not found? Because we are restricting our URL that you have to give a number only. You cannot give a string value. You cannot give a name. Okay, so this is what URL converters means. Okay, and just like this, there are many other converters also which you can use. Like there is one converter called as string, then there is one called as integer, then there is float, then there is path, and then there is UIID. So we will see one by one all of them, okay? But before that, let's just quickly talk about one more new topic in routes, okay, and dynamic URLs, that is a method redirect, okay? So now we'll talk about a method which is redirect. Now what is this redirect, how it is used? So to use this redirect, what we have to do, we have to first of all import this redirect. So let's just go in the first line and we'll just simply say, okay, you can see you will get redirect. You have to first import redirect, and let's create one more route, okay? Now with the name only redirect, it's pretty much resembling, okay, that we can say that it will just redirect to something, okay? Redirect means what? That I have something and redirect to again something different. That is what redirect means. So same with the name only, what it means, the same thing it will do also. So let's see what it does and how it does, okay? So let's write the code for that. So we have already imported redirect. Now we'll create a route for it. So we'll say app.route / okay, so we have already a home route created that is only using the /, but now we'll create a explicit route, okay? So I'll say /home, then def, okay, and I'll say home. Now I've already a function called as home, so now I'll create a function called as home redirect, okay, because I've already told you function name cannot be same. And then I'll just simply return redirect, okay, and in redirect what I'll do, I'll redirect it to again /. Now why I need to do this, because sometime what happens, people go and directly search for the URL homepage, okay, they directly want to go to the home URL, but they don't know, or the people who are not from programming background, they don't know that by default the / means by default you go to the home page only. So they can make a mistake like this, okay, or you can use it for some other examples also, okay? So now I'll do what, I'll just remove this, okay, and I'll just run this. So okay, I have got a syntax error, so I need to again execute this, but before executing I'll just clean it, okay, because I don't like messy, okay? Now I have to clean it. I'll just reload this. Now I'll get hello flags. This is my home page. Now again I've created one more route called as home, okay, for the persons who don't know. So when I'll give this route, you will see I've again reached to this route only. You will see I've written home here, I've written home, but again I came to the URL got changed. It again redirected me to this home URL only, that is the only /. So that is what redirect is used for. It automatically moves the browser to the redirected URL which you have given. So what in the code, if you'll go and check it out, this in the redirect you have given this URL, that whenever the user gives this URL, redirect him to this URL. So if the URL gives /home, so you will go back to this, okay? So you already redirect to the home /. So that is what redirect method is used for. Now just like this, there is one more method, but that has some more functionality, okay, and that is more accurate. Let me just show you that too. So the next topic which we'll talk about is URL for. Now this is also kind of a method only, and for using this you have to again import this, okay? So let's just go and first import this also. So I'll write URL for, and you will see the VS Code already gives me, okay? Now I'll come here and I'll have to again create the route. So I'll just not do anything this time. I'm not going to write, I'll just copy paste it, okay, and I'll make some few changes, okay? I'll make few changes. That is this is my home route. Now I want to do the same task, okay, or let me just give home 1, okay, let me just make it different. So this was home where I'm using redirect, this is home 1, okay? So when the user will give home 1, okay, and I have to make it redirect 1 also, or let me just make changes. I'll change it to URL, okay, home URL, and here I'll use the method URL for. But when you are using this method URL for, so this method will be used along with the redirect, okay? So you're going to use this method inside the redirect itself. So you'll write redirect, and inside the redirect you will write URL for. So if you have to use redirect, then what is the use of this URL for? So this URL for is used to call the function, okay, call the function. Okay, so here what you have to write, here you have to write the function name. Here you have to write the function name. Okay, which function name? The home function. Which function? The home function. Okay, now you'll write home function. Let's again go here. Let's execute this. We'll come back here. Let me just first reload this. Okay, it works. Now I'll do what? I'll write home 1, and you'll see I'm again back to the home page only. So both redirect and both URL4 is doing the same thing. It moves the browser to the mentioned where you are trying to move, means where you're trying to pass the, or where you want to redirect it to. But the difference is that when you only use redirect, you have to write the whole URL. Okay, you have to write the whole URL. So URL, after some time it may changes also, but with that URL, the function which is attached, that is not going to change. So URL4 is used for that. Okay, URL can be changed later, but the function name stays the function name only. Okay, function name always stays. So that's why when you're using URL4, actually it takes less maintenance. And whenever you talk about URLs, so now I'm using a basic syntax. So that's why I'm writing /home1. Actually, the URLs are very large in number, okay, large in size. So it becomes very difficult. Instead of that, only writing the function name is more convenient. And as I've told you, that function names remain unique if you are writing the function name for a route. Okay, so it remains unique. So that's why you can just directly send using URL4, you can directly send to a function itself. So this was all about this particular video. So in this particular video, I'll again conclude everything so that you guys should not get confused. First of all, we learned about that how we can create multiple routes. Okay, so we can create multiple routes where we have created routes for about and contact. Then we talk about the dynamic URLs, that how we can create URLs dynamically, where we saw that how we can give URL parameters. In URLs we can give our own parameters, and how the parameters are connected to the functions parameter. So whatever value you give here, that function already takes that parameter. Then how you can associate your values which you give in your URL to a particular data type. So for that, you can see that we have taken an example of age, where we are restricting the age to an integer type only. If you not give the integer type value, it will give you an 404 file not found or URL not found error. Then we talk about the redirect function, where we saw that how you can redirect to a particular URL. Okay, then we talked about the URL_fall function, where we saw that how you can redirect to a particular function using a function name. Okay, because URLs are very large in nature, or URLs can change also, but this function name always stays. So that's why using URL4, you can directly go to that function. That's all for this video. We'll see you in the next one.